Welcome to the North American Hunting Odyssey, where members experience and share the Odyssey we call the hunt. This program has been created specifically for members of the North American Hunting Club.
Hi, I'm Bill Miller, editor of North American Hunter magazine, and your host for this edition of the North American Hunting Odyssey. The Odyssey video series was created especially for NAHC members like you and features the excitement, challenge, and adventure of the hunt, and also gives you some great techniques and tips that you can put to use next time you're in the field. The Hunting Odyssey series is also a great way to share your adventures with fellow NAHC members. So if you've got a hunting adventure on tape, send it on in to club headquarters. The first stop on this edition of the Hunting Odyssey is South Texas, where we'll hunt white-tailed deer with North American Hunting Club member Norm Dudzik. We'll join Bill Weller in the sandhills of Nebraska for the annual first-of-the-season dove hunt. And we'll see Sam Houston overcome some tough physical limitations and take his first muley. I'll take you along for a bluebird afternoon of hunting ducks with some buddies in Iowa. Then we'll head north to Alberta, Canada with NAHC member Ron Martin and see him take 2 black bear. Then I'll take you back to Nebraska for a successful pheasant hunt with the folks from Hunt, Nebraska. Next we move west to Colorado and join North American Hunting Club Vice President Mark LaBarbera as he goes bow hunting for trophy elk. We wrap up this edition of the Hunting Odyssey in the high country of Alaska with NAHC member Roger Gussie as he takes a trophy Dall sheep. But first, let's head to South Texas and check out those beautiful trophy white-tailed deer. The Encinitas Ranch in South Texas offers some of the finest whitetail hunting in the country. Mark LaBarbera, Club Vice President, talked with Mac Burns about the herd and the chances of members taking a trophy.
We're a desert country. We've had exceptional rainfall the last year, and down on the ground there's some of the best deer vegetation that you'll find anywhere in the country. And that's why South Texas grows the big whitetails. We have 40,000 acres here, so we're able to take control of the deer herd and keep it inside our fences.
These are free-ranging deer. They're coming and going all that they please.
Most mornings are going faster than we can get a gun on them. This is a fair chase hunt in all regards. 6 or 7 inch bases, we have those in Texas.
It's a 4-day hunt, with most hunters having a chance at the buck they want early. The ranch provides the guides and everything necessary to ensure a successful hunt. The size of the herd and the management techniques used by the ranch mean hunters can afford to be patient, and in this case, patience usually means a trophy.
We do everything that's legal to try and get that biggest buck during the 4 days of clients here. We rattle when it's appropriate to rattle. We stalk. We try every method that we know. The deer are smart. The big ones are very smart and very cagey, and it takes a real effort to get out and find them.
The Texas whitetail season opens in mid-November, with most hunters finding success from mid-December until the season ends in early January.
For the more skilled hunter, one who is used to judging trophy class deer, we'll put him in a blind by himself, either a ground blind or a tower blind, or let him rattle. For the less experienced hunter who would like some help in judging his trophy, we have some blinds that are set up where that hunter can have a guide with him. Every hunter hunts a little differently, and people from the forest hunt different than people from the plains. We hunt as hard as our clients want us to hunt. This is not only a hunting trip, but a vacation for almost everybody. If they want to get out before daylight, get in their blinds, sit all day with a cold sandwich and have us pick them up at dark, that's perfectly all right. If they want to come in and have a hot lunch and take a nap, go back out at 3, we can do that too.
Club member Norm Dudzik also traveled to the ranch that season with the hopes of filling his 2-buck limit. He was accompanied by NAHC member and Encinitas outfitter Bill Whitfield.
Well, we've been seeing a lot of does in this area, and the rut is just starting, so what we're going to do is be up in this tower blind and cover a whole lot of area. That way we can more or less just see a lot of deer.
I know we saw a lot of does out of this blind yesterday, Bill, but what do you think we're going to see today?
Well, you know, we're playing the percentage here. We're trying to make sure that there's a lot of deer in the area, and that's when the bucks go into rut, they're going to follow the does wherever they are.
Tower blinds provide an excellent view of the terrain and a chance to choose from a large number of bucks. But tower blinds can get awfully hot and stuffy in the Texas sun. Norm was hoping to take his bucks quickly.
The does usually, Norm, are going to be ranging all along the edge of this thick brush, which is where their food supply is. And of course the bucks are going to be trailing along behind them. And what we're trying to do is find one of the big bucks. Norm, what we're doing is we want to keep on a lookout out here. In this country, the mesquite is so gray that the deer blend in with it very well. What you're really looking for is a white patch that's usually under their chin, or the yellowish tint of their antlers show up. And of course they're going to be standing out there in that brush, which is about waist high, so all you see is their neck and their head and their antlers. And you just got to keep looking until you spot one. And when you spot them, then we find out, we're going to judge what size horns he's got. Okay, yeah, all right, see to the left, take your binoculars and look. They're right to the left of that big green bush right there. That's the way. All right, see them walking to the left? Okay, there they go. Now they're running the does. Get ready. You never know when they're going to go. They might come this way, they may go the other way. They're circling to the left. Okay, he stopped. Let me see which one's the best. Take the one on the left. All right, good shot. Good. He looked happy. Just relax. Let's see where the other buck went. There were some two big bucks together. You know, you're on a 2-buck hunt. Let's wait and see if we can find the other buck. Don't get excited. We just want to stay cool, and let's sit here for a little while. There's the other buck. All right, he's with those 2 does. You see where the first buck fell? He's about 150 yards to the left. See that big cactus bush? All right, find the cactus. Now go to the left about 50 yards. He's standing looking right at the blind right now. You got a good sight picture on him? Okay, are you good and steady?
Yep.
Take it. Good shot, you just got number 2.
Look at this deer. Hey, Bill, it's not a 10, it's a 12, man. God, look at that mass. Lord almighty.
That's what you came for.
Oh, he is.
Congratulations.
Thank
You
you,
did a
Bill.
super job.
Bill, I didn't really think it'd ever be possible to get 2 bucks within less than 5
Yeah, I
minutes.
tell you what.
2 great bucks in one day. It's hard to beat that. Congratulations, Norm. When it comes to sheer range and numbers, mourning doves easily dominate the upland bird scene. Bill Weller has hunted doves in the sandhills of Nebraska for as long as he can remember, so we jumped at the chance to accompany him on one of his annual hunts.
That reminds me of last year's dove season. Speaking of dove season, that's what I wanted to talk to you today about. Specifically dove hunting in the western states. Now there's 2 ways we're going to do it today. One of them is walking the birds up like upland game birds, just like they are. And the other is a little more traditional, you know, where we'll be finding a place near a roost or some water where we'll be doing some pass shooting. Something else I wanted to talk to you before we go out today was guns and loads. Now I just got through practicing with a 12 gauge. I'd say probably more traditionally is the 20 gauge. Now that's what I'll be using today. It doesn't take a whole lot to bring a dove down. So the type of loads you want to use, like I've got some 8s, some light 6s for the 20 gauge. 7.5s or 8s are good for the 12 gauge. The most important thing is your gun. You're going to be doing a lot of shooting at doves. You want a gun you're comfortable with. I like the 20 gauge. The doves move pretty fast. Something you can swing nice and stay on them. I like the padded butt on them because your shoulder will get a little sore toward the end of the day. This looks like a good spot today. We're going to be hunting agricultural, basically ranch land. Around there you'll find a lot of stock tanks because they graze cattle mostly. They're not very big areas, but we've got a few things the dove like. We've got some weeds here. In this case, these are stink weeds. They've got a pretty good seed on them. We've got some trees here, so they probably roost in these trees, and I got a stock tank up here. And this bunch of weeds here, it's the middle of the day, So I think what I'll do, I don't have the birds flying like you would in the evening or say early morning. So I think if I just get in these weeds and they're not big patches, but I'll walk them up. And this is a good way to spend the middle of the day. Dove. Go get her, Brandy. Brandy, bring it here. Bring it here. There you go. Good girl. Good girl, yeah. Good, Brandy. Good girl. Good, Brandy, yeah. Yeah, this is nice about the dove itself is that they're not really a flocking bird. They'll bunch up, but just because we jumped one here, just a little ways up here, there can be more. They won't all get up at the same time. So, you know, you want to keep working all the weeds and see what you can get out of them. Now, and another thing is they don't go that far usually. This is the time of day where they're just basically in here feeding. So we'll just walk a little ways and see what we can get out of here. The nice thing about dove season is it's an early season. You can get yourself and take your dogs out and get tuned up for the rest of the season. You know, it's good practice for the dogs to get out and get some work in. It's not real hard work for the dogs, but it is hot, so you want to make sure you bring some water for you and the dogs. Well, there's one. All right. Fetch it up. Good girl. Fetch it up. Dead bird. Bring it here. Good girl. Bring it here, Brandy. Brandy, bring it here. Bring it here. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. There we go. All right. All right. One of the things about the dove is a lot of times you get a dog that won't want to pick one up. And it's because these feathers are so fine and they come off in their mouth. And still one of the major advantages of having a dog along is they'll find a lot of birds. A good idea is for you to spot them down and help them out. But a few of those things, you know, that doves are different than other birds in that respect. And don't get on your dog right away. Brandy, come on. Dead, Brandy. God, you know, that's one thing you get around these stock tanks or whatnot. You don't know, when they get up, you have no idea which direction they're gonna go in. Right there, we had one that way. I looked over my shoulder, there's two going over this way. So you gotta be ready to go. Good girl, Brandy, good girl. Well, we didn't see any doves right around this tank. The dogs sure love to be in there. It kind of cools them off pretty good when it's this hot. A tank like this is not so important in the middle of the day as it is in the evening. The doves love to come to water. It's just something they do in the evening. So if we were to pick a place like this, say a couple hours before sunset, they'll come in and feed a little bit. There's a little bit of gravel in this sand. There's a roost area here. We got a bunch of trees, but this water is important then. That's when you can sit here, maybe in a fence line or behind some weeds, and really take advantage of it. What we're doing right now is this is the traditional dove hunt. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. We've picked a location where we think the doves will be flying into. I've got a corner here that I think I'm pretty well broken up. I don't have to hide. My outline is broken up by the brush and this log. Behind me, I've got some trees that the doves like to roost in. I've got some gravel out here on a trail road ahead of me. I've got little weeds and whatnot for them to eat last minute, and I've got a water tank. So the doves are going to come in here. They might land over here for a while. They'll go to this roost. They might go down here to this gravel. Basically, what we want to do is intercept them. Fetch him up, Joe. Fetch him up. Way out. Joe, bring him here. Joe, fetch it up, buddy. Bring it here. Good boy. Fetch him up. Come on, Joe. Fetch him up. Bring him here, Joe. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Bring him here. Good boy. Yeah. Good, Joe. Yeah. All right, buddy. Yeah. Practice, practice, practice. I think they're right when they say you get 1 in 5. That's the case with me anyway. More shells. You saw that one come in. Now, we've had a few of them do that. They haven't come right over us, and we don't have to stay here. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go over there, see if we can't kick him up, get him, and then we'll come back here. Let's give that a try. If at all possible, when you come into these weed patches, you want to see which way the wind is blowing, and then get it in your face. There's a few advantages to that, and one of them is the fact that when the doves do get up, if the wind's at your back, they're just gonna stay low and put distance between you. They get up into it with the wind in your face, and they'll flutter off to the side one way or the other. There's one there. Dead bird, Joe. Fetch him up. Dead bird. Dead. Dead bird. Hunt him up, Joe. Dead. Dead bird. Fetch him up, Joe. Fetch him up. Good boy. Bring him here, buddy. Bring him here, Joe. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. That worked all right. Here's one. Low flyer. He's coming in. Well, a dove is classified as an upland game bird, and just say like the pheasant or grouse, anytime you're hunting, as far as I'm concerned, I think dogs are extremely important. Not only are they fun to hunt with, but they'll get birds up that you miss, and they'll find the birds. That's the most important thing. I like retrievers. Retrievers work well. They're flushers, and they'll get in there and they'll get the birds up. They sit pretty tight. They won't set so much, say, to use a pointer. That's why I say I like the flushing breeds a little better. One thing about the grass that we're in here, you know, the dogs will really help you find the birds you get down. You notice I've got a cooler here. When it's this warm out, our birds aren't going to keep that long. So we've got a cooler full of ice, and when we get birds, we'll just put them in there. And if you notice, I've got a cooler underneath that camo jacket. That's for the dog, and of course for me also if I get a little hot. But it's real important that your dog has plenty to drink. We're hunting in 90-degree weather, even here at 6 o'clock in the evening. Here's one, kind of low. He's coming in. Dead bird, Joe. Fetch him up. Dead bird. Well, I'll tell you, this dove season, it's great. It not only gives you a chance to extend your season, but to get your dogs tuned up, get your eyes sharpened up, and it's a lot of fun. Good boy, Joe.
Bill does a great job of watching over his dogs and providing them with lots of rest and fresh water. Our next story is about a young hunter named Sam Houston who refused to let a physical disability stop him from enjoying the great sport of hunting.
Well, we've tried to include him in about everything that we can. He's been active in scouts.
Sam was born with an underdeveloped lower torso, but thanks to a caring family, his disability didn't slow him down much.
Oh man, there's one there that's beautiful. 6. That one's a dandy. Well, we feel like he should be involved like any other child. You know, he feels the need to participate with the other boys, and we've seen that it's helped his mental attitude. Let him settle down.
Danny Wilson was guiding Sam on a special hunt held on private land in southern Utah. He was hunting one of the best deer herds in the state.
I like it. It's great. I've never seen big bucks like this. I was just shaking almost. I was so excited.
Now they're going up the hill over there, right above that tree. We're a hunting family. For generations we've hunted in our family, and so he's grown up with it. And, he's always had the desire to hunt. That's a time when we as a family can do things together, and he really enjoys that as a family outing.
Sam was within range of a dozen bucks, but couldn't get off a shot.
The sagebrush was higher than me, so just awkward.
Sam had a disabled hunter's permit, which allowed him to shoot from a vehicle. And that afternoon, his luck improved.
It was awesome. Good shot. That's a good buck.
I think it's one of the greatest things that could happen. He's been sick most of this summer, and I think it's helped to pull him through some of the tough times.
Just to have this chance It's once in a lifetime.
We should bottle this feeling and sell it, but this is as good as it gets.
Sam has since passed away, but his story will always help me appreciate what true dedication to the sport of hunting really means. Southwest Iowa is right smack dab in the middle of a major duck flyway, and the Taylor Lake Duck Club offers some of the best waterfowling in the country. In the lifetime of every waterfowl hunter, there's a few rare opportunities to experience what could be considered heaven on earth. And if there is those opportunities, it's at a place like this. And I've got the opportunity to experience that kind of waterfowler's heaven on earth with my good friend Chris Slutz at his private duck club in Southwest Iowa. Chris, it's a pleasure to be here.
Good morning, Bill.
Chris, the weatherman's really put one over on us here. We've got a high sky, the wind's changing direction, we got clouds for a little while, and then we got bright sun. How are we going to get these ducks in?
Well, it's going to be a tough morning to shoot some ducks. Got a little southerly wind, and it's switched to a southeast wind with the sky, so we're going to have to work at it. We're going to have to spend some time and do a lot of hard calling to get the ducks down and into range.
Oh, Chris, are we working birds that are going out to feed, coming back from feeding? Give me the typical day of these ducks.
Well, the typical day seems to be that they'll come off of the refuge and they'll head out to one of the cornfields, and then they'll spend some time in the morning filling up with the corn. Then on their way back, they'll come slamming into here to get some water. So we set out the decoys 25, 30 yards out, and use the calls to attract their attention a little bit, make them feel a little bit safe about coming down, and then call and work the ducks a little bit. And that really is the secret to the sport, I think, that calling and working and watching them twist and turn and be a little bit wary, and finally getting them set down to where they're in a place where we can take them reasonably.
Well, let's close up here and see if we can get some of those ducks to come in.
All right, there's a few flying, so maybe we can get some in.
All right. Good shot.
Yeah,
Way to
there
go.
we go. Way to go.
One on the water.
Good job.
I'll go get him.
All right. All right.
Beautiful duck. Drake ringbill.
Well, those number twos did the job.
You bet. Anybody says steel shot won't do it, there's the proof that it does.
Proof's in the pudding.
Joining me this morning also is Bill Wool, Press Relations Manager for Remington Arms. Bill, I've been shooting steel shot for close to 20 years, and I still hear people saying, oh, steel shot won't do the job. What's the latest that Remington's come up with?
Well, there's a lot of good news in steel shot, and what we've done is to basically block off the ability of water to enter the shell from the places where it might get in the most. And that's up at the crimp, where we've used a clear lacquer seal, and then we've used a red seal right around the primer so that you have visible evidence that the shell is sealed.
What are some tips that the average guy might try to make steel shot better for him?
It doesn't matter whether you're waterfowl hunting or pheasant hunting or turkey hunting, you got to have confidence in your system. So we believe probably the best way to do that is to start before you get in the field and do some patterning work with these new shells so you know truly what's going to happen out there at 30 or 40 yards. That's probably the most important thing.
Something that I've done too for all my waterfowling is I've switched to your 10 gauge, and it seems to have helped me score more times, and when I do, get absolutely clean kills. And I think it's essential for goose hunters that they take a look at going to the 10 gauge.
I think the 10 gauge system is a viable alternative for people who are looking for the ability to get either larger birds or to reach out much further than they're used to with 12 gauge. And that's an excellent way to do it. They have to keep enough open mind and confidence in steel to go out there and use it effectively.
Really, to sum it up, the things a person can do to make steel shot better are: number one, get out there and test it, pattern it, shoot with it, learn how to shoot it. Secondly, jump up a couple shot sizes from your favorite lead shot size. And third, maybe consider moving from a 12 gauge to a 10 gauge, especially if you're going to hunt those big birds like Canada geese.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I think if people go into steel shot with an open mind and take advantage of these new technologies, they're going to wind up being very satisfied, and they're going to be better hunters because of it.
Well, let's get some more proof for ourselves and settle back in here.
Sounds good.
Good shot! Good shot! Way to go!
Hey, thanks.
I'll go get him. Hey, Chris, pick that one up. Things are starting to slow down now. How about putting something on the grill for lunch?
I've already started, Bill. I've got some of those nice heavy fat mallards that are so special. I'm going to season them with some salt and pepper. I got a little bit of bacon in the bottom of the foil. I'm going to stuff them with some orange and apple wedges. And then after I cook them for about an hour and a half at 300 degrees, we'll take them out and flip them over and glaze them with some apricot glaze. The apricot glaze is, I use apricot baby food because it's easy to get a hold of. A little bit of brandy, some sugar in it, and some cinnamon.
Oh, that sounds good. You know, and this Masterbuilt's perfect for cooking out here in the blind like this.
Boy, deer steaks, ducks, anything that you want.
Hey, there's about half a dozen at 10 o'clock. These look like they might work. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Shot!
Yeah.
Way to go!
Nice
One
shot,
underwater.
Good job.
I'll go get him.
All right.
This has certainly had the makings of a great day in waterfowl hunter's heaven. Bill had his first success on a Midwest duck hunt, and Chris made a great meal out of the ducks we harvested. But Chris, I've got one question. Where's the hollandaise sauce? Club member Ron Martin has already started his bear hunt in the Peace River area of British Columbia. Let's join the action as he watches this big cinnamon rummage through the bait pile. There have already been several bears at the bait, but they've been chased away by the big cinnamon. If you watch close, you can see a subordinate black bear sneak through the background. Ron's going to take 2 bears in this trip, and he's invited us along to hold the camera for him. Boy, that bait must be sweet. Well, you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men. The bait's well placed, but Ron's shot went a little high. The adrenaline must have gotten to him. One thing about hunting these big bear, when they get hooked on that bait, it's likely they'll be back. You sure can tell that cinnamon's the dominant bear at this bait. If you look real close at the top of your screen, you can see a black bear sneaking through. He wants no part of it. The cinnamon's a lot more cautious this time around, too. He's checking things out well before he sticks his nose back in that bait. Bear don't get this big by being foolish. But the sweet, sweet smell of honey is almost irresistible to those bear. But one thing about hunting those big bear, sometimes they don't care whether you're there or not. They know they're the king of the woods, and they can have what they want. He's got all the signs of a big bear. His legs look kind of short. His ears aren't real prominent. That'll be a nice trophy for Ron if he can make the shot count this time. And sure enough, that was a good one. What makes that bear especially a trophy is the fact that he's that rare cinnamon color phase.
Watched him for almost an hour before I decided to take him.
How many times have we all been here?
Red button again?
Yeah.
And it comes, the red light comes on inside. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Red light.
Go ahead, Rick, get in there. Will.
Looks like a lot of hunting camps I've been in.
Congratulating the guide, eh? Or the guide congratulating the hunter?
Some good times shared with good friends.
That's okay, Phil?
Boy, they've had some good success. There's always work to do around camp. Did I say friends? With friends like that, who needs enemies? A little ice water down the shower. Ron's got 2 bear tags, and his next outing brings in a big black. He looks even bigger than the cinnamon Ron took earlier. There's 2 bear coming in again. You just catch a black bear skulking through the background. But the bear at the bait's a real bruiser, and he wants no part of that action. Oh, just look at that swagger. That's a dead giveaway of a big bear. Good shot, Ron. Just pay attention to the noise and where he goes.
It was a high hit. I think I caught part of the shoulder, but the bear took a tumble about 3 times, falling over, and then ran off into the bush. I heard one moan. Got a nice big head. I'm really hopeful it's going to make Pope and Young. It certainly looks a lot bigger than my cinnamon head. Red light, go on. Well, I hope this one makes the book. Got it last night, about 9 o'clock. Didn't go too far. Wasn't too short a shot. Quite a bit of arrow length sticking out of him, but sure did the job. 2 bear in 2 days is hunt of a lifetime.
The skull of that black-phased bear missed Pope and Young by just 1/16 of an inch. The hunt's not over until the work is done and the hide is salted down. One of my favorite game birds is the ringneck pheasant. They're a beautiful bird and they can be very cagey. You've got to be fast to get off a clean shot. Let's see how it's done Nebraska style. Johnny, what do you have in store for us?
Well, we're going to go out and chase a few pheasants. We got quite a few acres to hunt on. We got different dogs to hunt with. Basically, the hunt operation is a mixture of controlled area shooting and wild native bird hunting. We've got 6,000 acres of controlled areas, which entitles us to longer seasons and special bag limits. We can hunt till the end of March and we start the 1st of September on those areas. There's a lot of native birds out in there, and with our release program, we're keeping the population real positive.
Good shot. Took 2 though. Yeah. Well, that's just giving them a sporting chance.
Yeah, that's a big old bird.
Nice.
Boy, they sit tight in this cold weather.
Yep.
Storm coming in like that, it makes them find a place to spend the night. Yeah. Well, should we find another one?
We'll slide them in here.
Good, I'll let you carry them anytime.
And yeah, with the snow moving in, we better keep moving too.
Come on, dogs, find another one. We've been seeing a lot of birds in here. This unpicked cornfield over here, drawing a lot of birds from all over. And they stay in there, but like I say, with this storm coming in, they're they're moved out of that, getting in this thick stuff for the night.
When the snow does hit, this is the kind of place they like to hide.
Yeah, they'll be in here until after it blows over, and then they'll head back for the cornfield and fill their craws up again with something to eat. You always shooting over and under, Bill?
Not always. Getting a chance to try out this new gun from Remington. But doesn't matter, I can miss with one as well as the other.
Well, that's my problem. I've never been good enough just to have a gun that holds 2 shells. I gotta have a bunch. We got a birdie dog up here. Let's watch her pretty close. There he goes! Good shot! Cece, come on, fetch it up here, girl. Come on. Come on, Cece. Rigger, come here. Come here, Rigger, fetch it up. Come on, attaboy. Come on, good dog. Come on. Come on, Cece. Atta girl. Come on, fetch it up. Good dog. Good dog, Cece. Good dog.
Well,
another big old rooster. Look at the tail on him.
One more for Christmas dinner.
That's coming up too.
You bet. Well, this is about it for me. The rest you got to carry.
I appreciate it. I really do. Well, I'll bet there's more.
All right, let's find them.
Come on, Cece. Get up here. Come here. See, we got orange on. We would kind of require all of our hunters to at least wear an orange hat, and we just assumed they had a part of an orange vest on too. So.
Yeah, I know. Even though we're not hunting real high cover here, it always helps when, especially when a bird cuts back between the hunters. It's an extra visual reminder that there's somebody there.
We've had a lot of clients that always hunted in camouflage, and they get here and it don't take them long to figure out that the orange was made for a reason, and we've been complimented on several times that they didn't realize how the effect of the orange showed up, and how they would probably be hunting with the orange from then on, because it's a good safety factor. Well, this is a pretty good area. We better get to hunting, I guess.
Okay.
Come on, Cece. Birds in here. Well, Bill, we get in this thick stuff. Why don't, if they go your way, you take them. If they'll go mine, I'll take them.
Okay.
Come on, Rigger. Cece. Come on, girl. Well, it's pretty thick. I can't see the dog all the time, so if you see her go on point, holler and tell me.
Okay, she's
there, she's got her. Walk in there, Bill. She's got something.
Okay.
We got a lot of quail around here, too. It could be quail. There he goes. Get him. Good shot. Good shot. Come on, Cece. Atta girl. Cece, over here. Come on, girl. Over here. Come on, Cece. Hurry up. Fetch it up, girl. Come on. Atta girl. Come on. Good job. Good job.
Another good bird.
Boy, they are, aren't they? They're sure pretty.
There's no question in my mind that the pheasant's the most beautiful upland bird.
Yeah, and they're plenty big too. This is this year's bird. You can tell by their spurs. They're doing well. Craw's full of corn the way it feels. He's already ate for the storm and is tucking in for the night.
They've done a lot of studies on upland birds, and hunting really has no impact on the population by the end of the season. I mean, whether you hunt them or not, the population is going to be the same come springtime.
Yeah, with what the hunters take is minimal compared to what coyotes, hawks, owls, and just nature in general takes. The toll on.
Oh, one bad storm can be devastating.
Yeah. We've been lucky the last couple of years with the CRP program we've got that the government's got out now. It's creating a lot more habitat, like all these canyon banks and stuff you see with this tall red grass on it. That's planted to CRP, and that's really gives them a lot of good cover for when storms are coming in. That's what they need, and protection against the hawks and stuff. It's really made an increase in the pheasant population the last 3 years. Well, I think we got more birds to hunt, don't we?
Yeah, well, maybe we should head on back to the truck and give your lab a chance to get out.
Well, that sounds like a winner. I've been wanting to get him out all afternoon.
All right.
Come on, Cece. Come on, Rigger. Right on, scoot on up in here, Bill. He's looking pretty birdie there.
Okay.
We'll get him pushed out to the end here.
Yeah, these long strips, they'll wait till you get to the end.
Yeah. Look at him pussyfoot, boy. He's going. Get ready. There, get him! Get him, Crockett, come on! Get him, Crockett! Fetch him up, buddy!
The dogs are kenneled up, and I'm about to put my gun in the case for the end of the day. This offers the perfect opportunity to sit back and reflect on the memories we've made today. You know, there aren't a whole lot of places left where you can come and hunt pheasants like this, and that makes every outing special and every bird a trophy. And it makes me want to come back next year. I've got a recipe that I've found in one of our NAHC cookbooks that I especially like for pheasant. Pheasant's very lean, so cook it carefully, and there's nothing better. Many consider bow hunting for big game the ultimate challenge. Make it for big elk in rough country, and you've got the makings of a great hunt. Club Vice President Mark LaBarbera accepted the Bow Elk Challenge in Colorado.
We're here in western Colorado with Premier Elk Guide Jay Verzu of Colorado Elite. We're not far from Grand Junction in the beautiful mountains where elk are everywhere. I suppose, Jay, you've been up and down these mountains quite a few times.
Quite a few times, Mark. Born and raised here, hunted elk in these mountains all my life. It's a beautiful place and it's great country. We've got 25,000 acres of prime elk country right here, and it's got the ideal combination of oaks and sarvis, all the types of things that they like to feed on, plus the excellent cover that they like to, they like bench country. We've got lots of that. Good wet, swampy stuff. We've got a little bit of everything here, and we're right here right now basically in the peak of the rut, and we're ready to get after it.
Patterning these elk isn't too difficult then, especially with all the time you spent up here.
No, it really isn't. We've got probably the major calving area in the entire area right on the ranch, and the cows come back every year to the same calving area, and therefore we've got the magnet in the cows. They draw not only the bulls from our area, but also from the neighboring areas onto the ranch when the rut starts. We don't see many of the big bulls during the summer, but about the 15th of August they start showing up.
Well, I remember when you and your dad took me out western bow hunting for the first time, and we had luck with mule deer. It seems like a few years ago the emphasis was more on bugling for elk, and now it's shifted.
Now, there seems to be a shift in it, and there's quite a bit of information out right now about call-shy elk. Elk can't be called and all of this, and this is pure hogwash. Elk aren't call-shy, and they can be called. You have to adapt your methodology. You use some cow calls, some squeals, some chirps, some full-blown bugles. Depending on the way the bull reacts, you have to consequently react in that particular type of way. The whole key is, the little thing that's picking up right now is the wind. And it really is. In these mountains, generally speaking, when you don't have fronts moving in and out, you've got a basic up thermal in the morning and a down thermal in the evening.
The warm air is just making the movement upward.
Mm-hmm. And so consequently, we get out early in the morning, get to the high country. We do some glassing in the morning. We do some bugling, squealing to locate the elk. Then if we find them and they're in a huntable position, we are above them. But then you've got the swirling action when you get down off the sides partway into the canyon. You walk down a canyon and swing around a point, and the wind follows you all the way. It's going north this way, and you swing this way, and then it's going east, And you get a lot of swirling activity, so you have to be very, very careful of the wind. It's the number one enemy.
You have a couple of elk wallows here that I noticed that are in those types of situations, that type of terrain where the wind could come from anywhere.
It can and does quite often.
It's one of those things where you'll be in tight on a bull, you know that he's coming, maybe he's following some cows, all of a sudden you feel that on the back of your neck. The wind has shifted, it's not in your face anymore. That's the most frustrating, most disgusting thing that can happen, but that's hunting.
Right below the point somewhere in that timber. Okay, there's a cow.
I got it. Look up to the left, there's a bull.
Okay, we got the wind.
They're way off there.
It's okay, we got the wind with us. Let's go for it.
All right.
Let my heart settle down.
Maybe we ought to go find Big Daddy.
Think we waited long enough?
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Let's go do it.
Oh yeah, he's down for good.
Yep, absolutely.
He didn't go far, did he?
No, not at all. He went maybe 80 yards, Mark. Fantastic.
It just shows when everything goes right, all it takes is one well-placed arrow.
That's right, Mark. That's right. There's a lot of good meat for your family to eat on this winter and half the summer. And buddy, I want to thank you for making a good shot. It makes my job a lot easier.
Thank you, Jay.
Fantastic.
Thanks a lot.
Fantastic.
You've got to hit a big elk just right to take him down in heavy cover. Mark did a great job. Club member Roger Gussie and a couple of buddies dreamed of taking a Dall sheep in the high country of Alaska. It's rugged country, and they almost didn't get out.
And one of the fellows is going to be taken off, and he's going to shuttle us in one by one. This is it. Max is going to be leaving with the first fellow who's going to be our assistant guide. Probably going to be my guide most of the time. Taking her right down the Alaskan Highway, Highway 2.
Well, that's Alaska. Those little planes that can take in one hunter and his gear at a time. I'll tell you, you got to put a lot of faith in your bush pilot. I'll tell you, there's nothing in North America for true wilderness like the mountains of Alaska. You just look at this and you say, that's sheep country. Easy, big fella, easy. Boy, that puts my nerves on end, but makes me want to be there.
Okay, now this is opening morning, and we're on our way out. It's a overcast morning. We had a little bit of drizzle, and we're going to check over the spot where we saw 4 rams. One was a nice full curl. Another one was very close to being a full curl. One was 3/4 curl. They're up in this mountain here.
Big, big country. You're spotting sheep 5 to 10 miles away sometimes. And that means a lot of hiking.
We're up looking for those 4 rams. We've been looking for about 4 hours now. After they went over the crest, we cannot find them. We're looking, and this is a view from up on top.
When you're sheep hunting in big country like this, you quickly learn the importance of a good binoculars and a good spotting scope, because that's where you spend a lot of hours. Sheep hunting, like many other types of hunting, is long stretches of low activity punctuated by moments of sheer excitement. They didn't get the camera out in time, but Roger got his sheep.
Well, Lance, make room on the wall. Here he is. We didn't have time to get the camera out, but there he is. You'll be all right on the wall, eh, Corey? Lance? Chris, what do you think?
You'll be fine.
Roger and the boys sure know how to do things.
Working on getting the hide off of the head.
They got that sheep skinned and butchered and carried every piece out.
Here's Roger heading across the talus slope towards the next saddle, which will take him down into the valley towards camp.
This is the work of the hunt, but it sure doesn't diminish the joy of success.
This is a trophy on his back there. Do a song and a dance for us, Roger. What's that? Do a song and a dance for us.
He's one happy man.
That's it?
Right out in the middle of a shale slide.
Considering he packed that hide and that sheep head all the way up from down below, he's doing all right, huh? Here's Roger carrying his cape and his horns.
I've never had a chance to try it myself, but I've heard there's nothing sweeter than that sheep meat the first night back in camp. It's the taste of success.
And here's the valley that we gotta go down yet to our camp, which is just downstream from what you can see there. Well, I was always hoping I'd see a grizz. And here we got it. Look at that. You don't think she smelled us, do you?
It's wonderful when you take your animal and you can just enjoy being there for the rest of the hunt. Seeing all the critters that are out there besides the sheep.
The guy is so tame. He must be a Gussie ram. We came down from our spike camp to this little cabin. You maybe can't tell real well on the picture, but this is a real uphill lie runway that Max lands on here. He's really coming in low. He's actually coming uphill is what he's doing.
Remember how hard that landing was? Well, watch this.
Well, I mean, he just barely missed those bushes coming in. I would say we're in bad trouble. After a couple hours of catching, Max is in the air again. We had to redo the wheel strut. We used 2 pieces of hardwood off of a bunk in the miner's cabin here, 20 feet of baling wire. Only thing is we're gonna have to wait another day or 2 to get out of here.
You have to respect those bush pilots, and you gotta trust them too. Well, that's it for this edition of the North American Hunting Odyssey. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And remember, if you've got an adventure on tape like Roger Gussie's or any of the ones you've seen today, send it on in to club headquarters. And now I'd like to thank all the folks who helped make this videotape possible. First, our friends in South Texas, club member Norm Dudzek, NAHC member Bill Whitfield, and the folks at the Encinitas Ranch for the fine whitetail hunt. Bill Weller for taking us along on his Nebraska dove hunt. Sam Houston for his inspiration, and KUTV for sharing his story with us. Chris Lutz and Mallard Point Lodge, and Bill Wohl of Remington for joining me on that great Iowa duck hunt at the Taylor Lake Duck Club. Club member Ron Martin for sharing his bear hunting with all of us. Johnny Himmelstrand and the folks at Hunt Nebraska for one of the best pheasant hunts I could have imagined. And North American Hunting Club Bowhunting Advisory Council member Jay Verzu for providing the patience, dedication, and the professional expertise that enables all of us to claim our trophies. And finally to North American Hunting Club member Roger Gussie for taking us along on that fantastic Dall sheep hunt. Here's to all of you. For the North American Hunting Club, I'm Bill Miller. Until next time, take care and good hunting.